Definitely, definitely, and out of learning to bring my life and my business together is where I discovered my niche in corporate housing, which is providing furnished housing for people who are in our area on a temporary basis. My husband's and my experience in the military was key to all of that, because we'd been in crummy places. We'd been in places where nobody took care of us. We'd been in places where they just handed us the key and walked away, and we had to navigate for ourselves. And I deal with a lot of cancer patients coming for alternative medical treatment. I help families that are in the area for short periods of time while their husbands are performing duties for the American government. And I have a real feel for that, and I'm a very empathetic and caring person. And I truly believe in the golden rule that you treat other people the way you want to be treated. And this is something I looked for and never found. And so I'm providing this service in my area. And it's been a perfect marriage of my business, which is real estate, and my love for people, which is hospitality. And it's grown out of my love for my family, and my family's involved in the business, and they're learning aspects. I have adult children now that are wanting to learn what I do, and that's exciting when they're doing it.
And I think that's key too. Your children are wanting to learn what you're doing. They're wanting to learn how to help you. You never press any child into service because you need a job done. You have a tremendous team that you put together, and you do homeschool all your children. There is no curriculum in your homeschooling. Okay, this is how you help mom in her business. This is how you help dad in his business, in our family business. It's not that kind of a family business. You wait until your children have a desire to learn this before you bring them in. You don't say, okay, here's a rag, go wash that window. So nobody needs to be calling the Child Protective Services or anything. There's no child labor laws being broken. But the joy of being able to marry what's going on in her heart to the company that she had already created, it brings a lot of joy in the family. And the children see this joy and they say, hey Mom, you know, let me do something. And so then they get together and they put their heads together and find out what it is the child's really good at. What does the child really want to accomplish? What are the child's goals? The children, they may want to go into a similar business. They may want to go into a business of their own. And this is a part of their learning to be, you know, they're children right now. They're learning to be children, and the job of children is to learn and to play. And through play, they learn. And as they get older, then their play becomes more constructive and more constructive. And whether they go into this business or they go into something that's completely different, they've learned how to listen to their heart, express what's in their heart, and say, okay, Mom, help me do this. And that's the way this is evolving within your family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I have a 14-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old daughter, and they love to cook. And so they're starting a business. And it's a small business. It's enough to pay for the things they want, going to the movies and that kind of thing. And we encourage that in our experience as entrepreneurs. We're helping them structure their business. And, you know, in a kid business, it's a child's business. But they're good at it. They love it. They're doing what they love. They're doing, essentially, they're not doing real estate. They're doing cake. You know, kids like to cake. They like to bake. They like cookies and cupcakes. And it's a good thing for them. And then I have another son that's very industrious, and he's like me. He loves to help people, and I'm working to channel him to build a business where he's helping people so that he can get compensated for all of the hard work he does, because he just loves people. He's a fabulous kid. I have another child that has a very strong interest in guns, and if you don't like guns, I'm really sorry, but it's my son. And
you're from Texas.
I'm from Texas.
And
we have
people in
concealed
Texas
weapons
have guns.
permits. Yes,
Yeah.
we love all people, and but my son he's interested in rebuilding guns, and so, you know, there's a potential there for business. And so the kids are definitely, we're working in that area. My husband's developing his own interests, even though we partner in the business together. It is definitely a family enterprise. And we even named our business after our family. And a lot of people thought I had 7 partners, and I just told them it was 7 children. 7 children.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Anna. Is there something else you'd like to add to our discussion that we've had here?
You know, I brought this board with
Thank
me,
you.
and I just got back from a conference on the corporate housing industry, and I went to this one particular person's session, and it was on sales. And I'm thinking, great, I'm going to learn all these wonderful sales strategies and how to close sales over the phone, because a lot of my clients, I don't meet them in person until they arrive in town. And the speaker got up and talked about mountain biking in Colorado. I'm thinking, okay, well, this is good. You know, she's a very dynamic speaker, and she starts talking about breaking boards. Now, I'm a martial artist myself, but I do it with martial artists. I don't do it in a high heels in San Diego, California, in nice clothes. And the more I'm looking at the board was thicker than any other board. You'll see, it's about 1 inch right there. And it's bigger than most of the boards I break. And I was a little nervous. And suddenly I began to realize that the board wasn't just a piece of wood. This board was obstacles in my life that were keeping me from being effective and moving forward in my business. And even with my family, there are always areas for improvement. So on the board, we wrote down fears. We wrote down what was keeping us in our fears. Do you realize that some of your fears, you kind of like having them around? Because they may maybe keep you safe. You don't have to change anything. You just, you know, people like the status quo. I'm the same way. I think most people do. Rob is the same way too.
Absolutely.
And then on the back of the board, I wrote what would happen for me when I broke the board, when I broke through these fears. And I wrote freedom. I was the 3rd person to go up to break the board and sliced through the board quite easily. And I began to realize, there was later in the conference we were talking about the future. Of course, we're in a recession, so lots of difficult issues to discuss as an industry. And I started to get scared again. I thought, oh no, what if I can't do this? Have you ever thought that? I have. I think it a lot sometimes. And I remembered the board that I broke. And I remembered how scared I was to stand up there and break the thickest board I've ever broken with my bare hands. I did not use an elbow. I used my hand to break the board. And I realized that if I could just push through, because to break this board, you can't go to the board. You have to go through the board to break the board. And mentoring, I would not have been able to do what I did that day if that woman hadn't stood there and talked to me and talked to the whole group about what I was feeling, because she understood my doubts and my concerns. She helped me deal with those so that I could walk up there, and I had no doubt when I walked up there that I could break this board. And that's what mentoring will do for you. Mentoring will help you get through, it'll help you go from having a dream to realizing a dream, because people like me and Rob will help you get through the process of bringing your life together so that you can accomplish for the purpose for which you were created.
And this is that 85% we're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah. The 15% is really vitally important, but the 85%, we can't ignore that. That 85%, we need to really bring that home for you. And this is what Anna and I really excel at. And this board experience and her experience with martial arts can really bring a lot to people's lives. And in her quest to help people change their lives for the better, Anna is a tremendous choice. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.